Fellas, so on to the second topic of this evening. We have the latest development on Demar Derozan, future LA Laker. What are the details that you have, Spence?
According to sources, that the LA Lakers are looking to trade for Demar Derozan, the former Toronto Raptor, to play with the man that's been constantly eliminating you in the LA. The speculation is that they will be trading a couple of sign and trade, mostly of maybe Harold, Caruso, and Kuzma. It may not be all three, might be two out of the three. And most likely for DeMar DeRozan, maybe a pick and a player or a player. I apologize. Yeah. So with this, so I guess Vic, I guess you guys just gave up on Kuzma. You say, you know what? That 0 and 8 that you did, that 20 minutes, 2 points in the elimination game, you know what? That's it. I tried it. We tried it, but your basketball IQ is killing me. I'm done.
See, Kuzma gave up on himself.
Pretty much. Now, with the Lakers, this is probably I would say this is a pretty decent trade for a reason, because it doesn't make LeBron, what's that word I'm looking for? Hold hands while you're in the office. You got somebody that's a scorer, and he can go make his own shots and everything. He's not going to be a shooter like that. Most things you're probably going to get from is 18, maybe 20, maybe 25 max.
Oh, interruption. Sorry, pardon the interruption. 8:37 p.m. 7/6/2021. Giannis is going to play tonight for game 1.
Oh,
okay.
So
interesting.
That changes nothing. Suns in 5.
Well, I got Suns in 6. So, anyways, but yes. Yeah. So with this, yes. So. Whatever. So with this, yes, this is what the possibility is. Will it help the Lakers? Maybe. But we don't know if this would help them until this trade actually happens.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's about time to get off of Kuzma. That's first and foremost. Looking back at like all the young players that the Lakers did get rid of, I guess at the time he had the most promise, and you were like, oh, that's the next big three: Kuzma, LeBron, and AD. And he has flashes of it. I can't even call that flashes though, because he's just so inconsistent. He'll have those horrible games, and then he'll have games where he goes off for 30, 40 points, and then you're just like, oh, okay, this is what we were expecting, and it's never materialized into him actually consistently giving you that, to the point now. What's this year? Just going to be going into year 4 of LeBron being over there now. So at this point, you've had 3 years to show that, okay, we made the right decision on keeping you. And now, yeah, it's time to he definitely should go. Caruso, on the other hand, though, I'm keeping Caruso. I like the energy he brings as far as for the Lakers.
Okay.
Harold, while I feel like they should have played him more, especially when AD was out, they should have definitely utilized him more. He was 6th man of the year for a reason.
Right.
I could see them getting rid of him in a sign and trade just because they didn't utilize him, and I know he had some frustration about the amount of time that he was used or was not used. So that could make sense. So Kuzma, Harold, maybe a pick for DeRozan. We still don't know what's going to happen with Schroeder because, like I said, besides
$200 million.
Well, yeah, I know he's not getting that from any team.
What do you think you is, Steph?
Especially the Lakers. I mean, if the Lakers, If y'all give that man that money, I know something, Vic.
If you give him that money,
woo, y'all getting robbed.
Y'all getting robbed.
So yeah, talk about your boys. How you feel about this?
Yeah, man.
Well, I'm all for it. I definitely. I mean,
Oh wait, for DeRozan or for signing Schroeder?
Oh
Just
no,
be
not
clear.
not the shoulder, not the shoulder, please, please, no, hell no. Yeah, Schroeder wasn't a big fan of his. I mean, obviously the money that he's talking, yeah, he can kick rocks, but as far as DeMar DeRozan, I think he would be a beneficial piece that would definitely help out the Lakers. Yeah, just because I felt like that was like the missing ingredient. Just everything like we talked about this earlier in the year about the impact of losing Rajon Rondo. I won't say exactly he'll be able to. I think he'll give a little bit more in terms of like points compared to Rondo, but he'll give the same kind of impact that Rondo was able to do in terms of like being able to distribute the ball. And obviously he's been in the playoffs numerous times, as Spence has basically talked about, that LeBron was in the way of many of those journeys on his playoff road. But yeah, he's an experienced player. He knows what he's doing. I wouldn't say he's entirely proven in terms of during that time of the playoffs, being able to say like, he's clutch and whatnot, but that's something that he'll have to prove at that point whenever we cross that road. But in terms of getting rid of Kuzma, I'm all for it. It's definitely something that we should have been done. When that trade happened a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, probably 3 years ago, I believe, 2-3 years ago. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it is what it is. Especially the players that I felt the Lakers should have kept. But I understood that the player that they were trying to acquire, there were going to be pieces that needed to be put in to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I don't care what you trade. I don't care what you say, Trey. No one in the world looked at Kyle Kuzma like, yeah, that's the big three. It was the other one. It's just the other one didn't want to follow orders. That's the only reason. The other ones didn't want to play backhand, which is perfectly fine because he was coming up on his own.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of everything though, I think it would be a nice trade, but I don't think that it's gonna happen. It might be somebody else, but typically when there's a player that's in the talks of, in terms of like being highlighted in social media, typically with the Lakers, it usually does happen compared to other organizations where it's kind of out of the blue. You don't really see it coming. So it may be a possibility where it does happen, but I don't expect that to be the player that they're going for. I'd be, I'd be more than
every time
happy.
it's a free agent, the Lakers, y'all
Are
fan base,
always.
y'all are like the Cowboys in a sense.
Oh, but we win championships.
Okay, I guess that's the difference. But yeah, I'm just saying y'all Laker Nation feels like the Lakers can go get any player that becomes available. Like, just relax. Not everybody wants to be a Laker.
Well, that's been true for the most part. So can't argue that. But hey, as long as we get it done, we win our championships. The rest, it don't matter. We gonna make it happen anyway. But guess with that being said, we can go on to the final topic, which we'll talk about the most underrated receiver in the National Football League for the 2021 season.
Right.